Kovan, I'm Dr. Connors. How you doing today?
Feeling good. Yeah, just a little bit of nerves, that's all.
Yes, that's perfectly normal, but you'll be fine. Let me take a look. Excellent. Macular pigment density, no sign of retinal thinning. You're ready to proceed. I'm gonna strap you down a little bit tighter. Keep your eyes straight ahead for me. You ready?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Breathe, Kovan. Breathe. Strike down. Stabilize. The injections. Breathe.
26 hours, 4 minutes, 7 seconds. That's how long they said I was in a coma for. When I woke up, my brain was on fire, like it was thinking 1,000 thoughts at once, yet every second stretched into an eternity. I know it don't really make sense, but then I felt it. Something alive in my skull, moving with me, thinking for me. It was the body-enhancing nanites that merged with the brain cells, called endosims. And they were awake too. What makes a soldier sign up to be a lab rat? 2 things: PTSD and a check for 10 grand. The VA dangles your meds like a carrot. Go to therapy or no kills. That's the deal. So you sit through their nonsense sessions. I was even told to go to group sessions. It helped me open up. Then one day some pencil neck shows up. His military outfit might as well have been a Halloween costume because I could tell he wasn't real military, His eyes had no pain in them. But he talked about volunteering to help find a cure for all who suffer from PTSD, as he put it. 10 grand cash to be a lab rat, that was a real offer. I hadn't been able to hold down a job of 2 years since returning from deployment. Put it plainly, I needed the cash. One day when I was walking past the server room, I lifted one of the USB drives. On it was testing footage. It wasn't of me, but some other poor guy strapped to the table. But every time I watch it, I get flashes, hallucinations. I can still smell the antiseptic, and those restraints tied around my arm, I can still feel it. It's like PTSD all over again. This time for a different reason. But the doctors, they weren't watching the seizures or the vitals. They were always focused on the eyes. Always. They gave us these pills called silentium-9. They were white pills, and it was explained to me that they help keep all the endosims in a hive mind of behavioral pattern and make sure none of them went rogue. Yeah, the side effects could be pretty risky, but the effects of endosims on our performance were undeniable. See, the body was fine. Better than fine, actually. But the head, if you looked into our eyes, you could see someone was right upstairs. Rumors started to spread around the facility that there was some weird stuff going on. Punishing subjects with solitary confinement, strapping men down, forcing certain medications on them. And I believe it too. One evening, I didn't show up before my therapy session. Told them I was having some symptoms and they let me rest in my room that night. Little did they know I packed up all my stuff, snuck out that evening, and I disappeared. I couldn't go back home. I was too paranoid. Like I was being tracked, or the endosims themselves might have been trackers. Who the hell knows? But 2 months had passed, and the island was hit hard by multiple hurricanes since then. The research facility that was disguised as a hotel resort was shut down because of it. I don't know if it was moved to another location or shut down altogether, but some intel leaked of it testing him in local gangs, and PMC groups have been trying to raid the island. Heard about the potential benefits of the testing and wanted to steal any remaining documents, mechanisms, etc. Trying to rebuild what they heard the endosims could do. See, these global PMC units knew that if they got their hands on what was there and turned themselves into some type of super soldier, they could option themselves off to the highest bidder. Corrupt CEO, billionaires, world leaders, all types of people would be willing to pay big money to have PMC super soldiers who have an on-off switch. I had to return from the same place I had disappeared, and in hopes I can find some Selenium 9, maybe buried under some rubble or hidden in the lockers still or something. I don't know what happened to the others there on the island, but I felt like it was my obligation to find out, because I was the first to be tested on. The prototype. The funny thing about disappearing X, sometimes the thing that disappears isn't the same thing that returns. I had arrived back at Elysian Island. Home sweet home. See, this is the hotel that they built, disguised as a research facility where they did the testing in. The place was beat to hell by the hurricanes, but I had to go look for what I needed. The question was somebody else already looking for it too? "892 days without pulling a trigger. No, there was lightning running through my veins. Was that feeling for me or the endosims? To be honest, I couldn't tell. I recognized this room. It was the day room. This is where they had carpets between tests like broken toys waiting for repairs. Tables bolted down like we might steal the furniture. Whatever they were pumping through the vents to keep us calm, the smell of it was still here. And then it hit. Auditory hallucinations. Voices, but they weren't mine. Then I heard something. I had forgotten about the adrenaline rush that combat brings. I'm not gonna lie, kind of missed it. Came across some unshipped boxes. 1420, Paragon Drive. I had reached the community center. This is where we spent most of our time when we weren't being tested by lab rats. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't uneasy about going in. Showers. You can still hear the screaming. I had to stay focused though. And it was like all of a sudden my mind got into some type of rhythm. Dangerous rhythm. Then it happened. For the first time, something came over me, something I never felt before. As quickly as that feeling had overcome me, it had disappeared. He had said my name. I know my mind's playing tricks on me, but I promise you, I swear to you, he said my name. I went up there trying to figure out who he was. How did he know me? But by the time I got to him, he was already done. How do you know me? How do you know? Listen, I'm a soldier, trying to focus in the most adverse situations, but that really messed with me. He knew me. Was he a former soldier? Was he one of the patients? I didn't recognize him. Had they sent people out to try to track me and kill me? I didn't know what the hell was going on. My mind was gone. I could feel that I was different. Target acquisition, range finding, sight, sound, everything had increased. I wasn't the same soldier as I once was. At times, it's like I didn't even need to hear my enemy. I could feel them. There was a helicopter flying over. These guys who were here weren't just some nobodies. This was a testing room. Could never forget it. But no sign of selenium-9. As I got closer, this guy I recognized. It was like a retrocognition mixed with deja vu. Like I knew him, but I didn't. You know, it was like my mind was a slot machine, but I couldn't get the gears to line up in order. But was this even my own memory? That helicopter, it was finally landed. Turns out, there was an extraction.
Come on, let's move now.
30 seconds, helicopter was gone again. Everybody here had vanished. By that time, I didn't find any selenium-9. But but I did have that address, 1420 Paragon Drive. It was the only lead I had, so I had to take it.